Hello, everyone. This is Yonks with REtoken, the Real Estate DAO, and we are hanging out here, the core team, and this is our weekly core team planning session where we come together on a weekly basis and get our week staged so that we can execute a winning strategy for creating the Real Estate DAO. And it's a community owned and operated Web3 community. And gonna hop right in. We only have 45 minutes and want to be respectful of everyone's time here on Sunday afternoon. So if we do have anybody hanging out in the audience, be sure to chime in. We love the audience participation, whether you're coming in on YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn. We are broadcasting live on LinkedIn now. So just hopping into the agenda here, we have been busy and catching up on some of our proposals and wanting to bring that open here on Boardroom. And we have two ways that you can vote on our proposals. Boardroom is a nice dashboard that we put in place. We won the grand prize of the Decentralized Governance Hackathon, and you can find our project here, REtoken. So right now, total proposals, you can just click on proposals or up here on vote and go to proposals. And I'm actually going to get, I haven't voted on some of these myself. I'm going to go ahead and get that done here real quick. So one that wanted to thank Blur's Day again for all that he is done here within REtoken Community Member of the Week. Thank you, Blur's Day. This is a proposal that we've had and finally got this submitted. And this is one that I did get my vote on. So thank you again for being so amazing, Blur's Day. And to keep on going down the list here. So this was one that was very excited about getting done, is distributing REtoken as soon as possible if the total amount distributed is under 1,000. And the primary thing for this is that we have regularly occurring events like the core team call here, participating on our live stream, chiming in with some YouTube comments. That rewards 10 REtoken. Everybody hanging out here. I'm going to change the view a little bit. We've got, and welcome Dax to our core team call. So we've got 7 people on the core team hanging out here. Let me go ahead, and this one, we do have some airdrops. I have fun dropping the airdrops. Had I can't remember. It was, I think, 1,200 REtoken that I did the one, and we added 7 new members to the REtoken total members list here this last week. So let me go ahead and get my vote in on this one. And, well, I've got my vote in on that one too. Let me see which one of these I don't have my vote in on. So the other one is the weekly treasury distribution proposal. And this is one, so I don't have my vote. I'm going to cast my vote. Yes, I approve, vote, and sign. And that's how easy that it was for me to vote here. So going down the other one, this is one that has been a long time coming. This is our legal operating agreement for REtoken DAO. REtoken is a registered Wyoming DAO LLC. We had our working group earlier in the week here on YouTube, and the video, if you hadn't seen that, it's there available for you to watch. And we regularly record, like literally on the tail end or previous to this core team call. We just concluded a DAO Global Hackathon. That was actually, it was technically our second working group, but we did have a strategy call. So we've currently as a team spent 3 hours on putting a strategy together for that. And we've got, we made an important decision here today on that. So going back here to one of the very important proposals, and I'm going to be sending out an email. I did that DAO weekly update. For those that hadn't heard, I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to circle back, Blurs, on that here in just a moment, but I wanted to finish talking about the the proposal that we've got here on the what's it called, boardroom to vote on. So let me find that window. It escapes to me here, and I'll just maybe I closed it. I don't know. So boardroom, the legal working group here, the and that's the work in progress number 7, REtoken improvement proposal number 7. So the legal operating agreement, and we have our operating agreement on GitHub here. That's also linked in the proposal, and we'll be including that in our Gitbook docs. It'll be all over the place here. And we wanted, one of the things that we agreed upon was to keep this in plain English so that it would be very easy for people to read and understand here. So this one, I hope that all of the REtoken holders will vote on. And let's see, I'm going to go ahead and cast my vote. I don't think I've actually voted on this one myself. I was waiting to do that during our core team call today. Yes, I agree. And vote on this, sign, and my vote is now in on that. So again, boardroom, we can also have on snapshot our proposals. So does anybody want to chime in on any of those proposals, the 4 active ones that we have here from the core team?
I think the treasury management thing will be. And makes sense.
I just added. Go ahead, Tyler. I don't think that you were in there the whole time. Can you repeat what you just said?
I was going to say I think that the treasury distribution is going to make administration a lot easier, and I've been trying to track everything in real time as it's happening to try and speed that up too. So yeah, the rest of the stuff seems pretty cookie cutter, but that's the one I'm the most excited about, just to be able to encourage new people within a few hours of participating in something for the first time, they already get it. That's super exciting.
And this is the one that you're talking about here, distributing the REtoken as soon as possible.
Yeah, I've been trying to track everything as it's happening so that you can just do those airdrops as soon as you can. And I'm actually I'm in there now with my squirming baby all over the place, trying to get all that stuff updated right now.
Yeah, and that's and you, the airdrops, that's one of the fun things that I enjoy doing, is doing that, and that also helps to contribute to our full transparency narrative, which also itemized here. So one of the things too, just to provide a little additional perspective to everybody, that I like to do within these proposals is using this as this is one of the formal means that we have of communicating to the community at large. And that's one of the things that I believe the better that we can do communicating. And like one of the things that have spoken a little bit about is doing the scribe program here on boardroom, and that will provide an additional opportunity from our dashboard for people, because I think that it'll have weekly updates. And let me bring open Bankless here real quick, because I believe that they have somebody that's doing the scribe. So right here where it's got resources, that wasn't a section that we had on our boardroom. And this is something that Tyler and I have spoken about, is just improving our communication here. And this is one of the things too. I wanted to get some feedback from everybody on this weekly update, if this is something that people thought would be of value. And this is something that we're wanting to put a REtoken reward behind for, because I believe that this is a solid piece of communication here. So what is everybody's thoughts on that? Is that something that you feel that would be well worth the 25 REtoken for having a nice weekly summary of all the ongoings within our DAO?
I don't think it's a bad idea. Just a high level TLDR of what we're all working on, I think would be really good.
Did you like the format on the announcement here in the announcements channel on Discord?
Let's see. Oh, so like something that looks exactly like this on the weekly update?
Correct.
I think I'd prefer just something more like just like a couple headings and a bulleted list.
Like less busy?
Yeah.
Okay. And let's take a look here because I brought up the bank lists, and let me hear weekly updates. This is how Banklist does theirs. So this is one, I don't think this one was here when I was looking the other day, the one for November 4th. And they've got a table. Let me make this a little bit bigger here. And I think that we could work towards getting a template that we could follow, because the getting something that we can again put here and then also have on like a Trello card, and then something that would copy and paste well into Discord, because we want this to be as easy as possible, because I don't want this to be something that I do myself. Ideally, I would like somebody else to take ownership, and I think that's one of the reasons that asking Mrs. Yonks to step up and learn how that the scribe program works. And I think that there's also some additional advantages of falling within the framework of the boardroom scribe program, is that I think that we might get that circulated within their Substack newsletter as well. But I'll keep everybody apprised as far as what that looks like, because that's something that I just went through their application process earlier in the week on. So going back to our agenda here, so that I think is the DAO business. Was there anything else that I would categorize as well? And this is the active proposals. In the same category is talking about the treasury management. So one of the opportunities that Amy took ownership of is researching bank accounts that allow Wyoming DAO LLCs. So is that something that you can speak to here now, Amy?
Yes, I have sent out questions and requests to people I know in LinkedIn and Clubhouse and all that. The one that came up, which not most of them is familiar, they said, are you having problems? And I'm going to ask you that question. Are you having problems signing up in a bank? Because Wells Fargo, when I called them, blank out told me they're not taking any DAO that deals with crypto or tokens. And so one of the person I know in Clubhouse mentioned Avanti Banks, Avanti Bank. And I researched it in Google, and indeed they're doing that type of banking. So you may want to research that. I mean, go to Google and join them if you think they're a Wyoming bank.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Avanti Bank. That's the one that Caitlin Long, who's a outspoken Twitter person and crypto advocate, is she's the chair of Avanti Bank. And just to provide a little additional, like when Mrs. Yonks and I were under contract for Crypto House Edgewater earlier in the year, and this was Colorado, not Wyoming, and that was actually before, because I think I said that was May or so from a time frame standpoint. We went to 4 different banks, 2 of which that we've already have existing accounts at, and they both told us no on having something with crypto in there. Now, that being said, REtoken isn't necessarily, but being a DAO, and it is a requirement of Wyoming's DAO LLC law to have the word or the acronym DAO in there to make it very clear that it is a decentralized autonomous organization. So that's something that we can potentially do, and what I think that we should propose. And does somebody want to take ownership of that? I mean, I can do it. I would rather not do it. And if somebody wants to take ownership of that, then I would absolutely be on board with creating a proposal that we could say that whoever here on the core team wants to be the point of contact for opening a bank account at Avanti Bank, I would absolutely be behind that proposal. So is that one that I'm going to have to take, or if nobody wants to take that?
Amy, are you able to follow up with Avanti and see if they'll open our account?
I could do that. I didn't know what it entails, if I'll be the representative, and if you can just let me know what I needed to do, because I don't want to, you know, cross any lines or anything like that, since I'm new to this.
Well, and to be clear, I think that this would be a great opportunity for us to create an official proposal in Snapshot and designate you the person that can act on behalf of our entity to get a bank account opened up at Avanti Bank. And it's normally called a resolution to open up a bank account, and we can call it something similar in Snapshot. So I'll put that as a action item here on today's agenda. And next actions: create Snapshot proposal for opening a REtoken DAO LLC bank account at Avanti Bank, designating Amy to be point of contact.
Amy, we can put more than your name on the account, but we just need somebody who is just to start it and get the paperwork going. We've got all the paperwork, like the articles of incorporation and everything else that they need, EIN and all that. We can just give it to you. We just need somebody to just physically open it up.
Yeah, we can take the logistics offline here, and I don't know what the process will be or the time frame, and that's something too. I think that we should explore the conversation with some other banks. One of the things, and I'm going to just move on to this next bullet point, because these are a couple additional opportunities that I think that we should pursue, is I've got both of those here. Create a new account at kraken.com for REtoken, and create a new account at gate.io for REtoken. So those are ones that I can take ownership of. I've got experience with opening an entity account at kraken.com already, and then gate.io. And one thing too, and I'm going to actually add this as another bullet point here, is one that I've been wanting to do that haven't done yet, is in the same line, is to open one for Token Town at gate.io. And part of the reason for that is exploring a next-gen NFT utility platform. And I think that would also potentially be an opportunity to explore with our home, which we spoke a little bit about, but wanting to leave this on track here. So I'm going to open this one, or add this bullet point.
And maybe I missed something over the past week. So what's the motivation for going on to a centralized exchange?
In case that we need to off-ramp money from crypto to, or vice versa, because assuming that we win the bounty for American Made Solar Prize, I would much prefer to bring that money, which will be a fiat award, over into our treasury management system there. So it's more of a on-ramp, off-ramp, and again, this is in anticipation of winning the American-made solar prize, or just, because one of the things too, to be clear, and this is something that I want to have as a regularly reoccurring conversation piece within the core team call, are funding opportunities. Like on Monday, we submitted the Polygon ecosystem grant, and that's crypto that we would receive, assuming that or hoping that moves forward. And American Made Solar Prize will be a fiat reward. So, just moving the fiat reward into that, we can manage it more easily within crypto.
The other thing on this is Yanks and I are spending a lot of personal money on different resources to support this community, and we're going to put forth some reimbursement requests so you guys can vote on, see if it's worth it or not. But there are some expenses that we'd like the communities to pay for out of the money that we already have in the treasury, and that would need to probably go through a bank because we're paying for stuff in fiat. And that's something that you guys can vote on, but we just want somebody other than us to be signing the checks to reimburse ourselves if this thing costs us. Does that make sense?
And real quick, wanted to chime in here. We've got Michael participating, and let me change this a little bit so that we can see it. So this is one of the thoughts here too, related to this conversation specifically, is, hey, why don't we use a Coinbase account for banking? So Coinbase is a good on-ramp and off-ramp, and that's one that we could potentially explore as well. And I have no problem adding that to another list, because one of the situations that Tyler and I are planning on exploring as far as partner solutions is Alto IRA, who provides custodian services for retirement accounts. And the thought with REtoken partnering up with a custodian like Alto IRA is that they could potentially access, and I think right now, one of the statistics, Alto IRA, to provide a little additional backstory, is that they were represented at the Digital Assets and Securities Conference. And Alto IRA, to Michael's point, as far as Coinbase, that's one of the partners that Coinbase or the Alto utilizes for managing, that allows people to invest in whatever you can buy off of Coinbase, for example. So I think that Coinbase would be a solid solution too. And that's something that, having more options, the better. Exploring and starting the process as far as the paperwork for having multiple accounts, and it's not like we're committed to using any of those. It does take time to get the account opened up, and I'm all a fan of having options. So if we want to add Coinbase to this list, I would absolutely be supportive of that as well.
Yeah, just one thing I personally like about Coinbase over Kraken and others is it supports ACH transfers as opposed to requiring a credit card or wire transfer that costs money per transaction. So it's free to move money on and off the platform.
Yeah, and that's some good information. One of the appeals of Kraken, and this is something that I've got on the list to talk about here. But let me go ahead and just add this to the bullet list here. Let's see right here. Create account at Coinbase for REtoken DAO LLC. Token DAO. All right, and let's see. So Michael's got some other great stuff here. He's birthday party, and enjoy the time with your daughter. Family always comes first, and Tyler and I live by family values like God, family, business. So appreciate that, and appreciate you hanging out here and chiming in Michael on our live stream. Oh, and he did pop in, but it says devices. Oh, welcome Michael to the StreamYard Core Team planning call here today. And wanted to real quick, we also have Heather that's been contributing to this third-party app like Coinbase or Binance, and that's another one that can explore too. Binance, I don't know if they allow entity accounts. I do know that Coinbase and Kraken do, and I know that Gate.io does as well. Let's see.
Could I ask, like, what are we going to be using all these accounts for as in like our token ecosystem or the DAO? Is it for storing like funds?
And your mic isn't coming in that good, Michael, but I think I heard the question here, and I'm getting a little bit of background noise. So I'm actually going to okay, thanks for muting. So the main thoughts are for the on-ramp, off-ramp account is to, like, the American-made solar prize that we submitted for, that could be potentially 50, 30 to 100 plus grand of fiat money that we would receive. And instead of just having that money sit in a centralized account where we don't have any type of next gen treasury management like what we've already got in place, multi-sig treasury management, the opportunity to more quickly move those types of funds from a traditional bank account where we can manage that through our Gnosis multi-sig safe would be the much more desired approach. So it's more of a on-ramp so that we can manage that within the DAO instead of managing that in a legacy bank account. Does that answer that question for everybody? So again, thanks also to Heather that's participating here, and she sent some apologies for not being able to speak, only text at the moment. And this is something that we do have our live stream we're facilitating via StreamYard, and we're looking at a new tool, and this would be a great segue into the conversation. We actually brought forward the opportunity of acquiring Restream. That was something that we did acquire, barely got in on the Halloween deal. And I don't even have that as a talking point on the agenda here today, and we're running out of time, but I did want to bring that forward. And that's one that we can start looking at using. My understanding is that with Restream, that we'll be able to use a third party like Zoom that has a great mobile experience as far as like the Zoom mobile app, where we can still multi-stream that out to the desired destinations. And that's the big value proposition of why that we're using StreamYard, is that right now this is being multi-streamed to YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn automatically. So it's a great means of distributing content. So one of the things that wanted to talk about here, and I'm going to skip down the agenda, and I'm going to let DSign talk about Superfluid. Superfluid is, we just concluded our DAO Global Hackathon on Gitcoin, and I don't know if I have the, yeah, so let me bring that tab open here. And we're getting ready to have another working group, but there is some additional opportunities on Superfluid, and I'm gonna let DSign talk about some of the research that he did, and I'm gonna navigate to some of the bounties while he's talking about Superfluid.
Hey, can everyone hear me? Cool. We'll go ahead and, Yonks, is it okay if I share screen for a second?
Yeah, I would rather let somebody else do the driving. So you do your share screen. I'll take mine down here.
All right, can everybody see my screen now?
Yep, I've got it up there.
Cool. So Superfluid is an app that we can use to maintain these constant flow agreements. And what that means is instead of doing something like, if you want to say somebody gets paid $60,000 a year, you can break that up into how much they get paid per second. And Superfluid allows you to set up a bunch of different flows. I'm having trouble with my MetaMask wallet. I was going to show you guys how to use the tool, but Superfluid allows you to set up these flows through different accounts. And I'm going to go to the Rinkeby test network real quick. Come on. Cool. So I'm on the test network. I have this test account open. Everybody can do this. It's super easy. And I have 3 different test accounts set up on my MetaMask. I was just putting a bunch of different flows up between all these. It's taking a second to load, but yeah, this tool will be useful in the future when we have either like some kind of staking pool set up and we want to establish different income streams between, like, say, the DAO and employees, if that was something that we had set up. We could also use they have a lot of open source coding that you can extend. And they were talking about how they have this, what they call like a holy grail NFT. And what this NFT represents is like your right to an income stream. So see, right now I have this, I'm sending $500 in USD worth of DAI per month to this other test account that I have open. And with their holy grail NFT protocol, you can like attach that income stream to an NFT and sell that NFT or transfer that NFT between different accounts, and the income stream will follow that NFT. So that could be useful in the, like, really far in the project when we have income sharing on like tokenized properties, for example. That'd be a really cool way to use this. But just as a little demo here, and if anybody has any questions at any time, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, real quick here, Design. I'm gonna switch from your stream over to mine real quick and bring that up here. So one of the bounties that I thought may be of interest is this build a token vesting DApp on Polygon using Superfluid, and it's a pretty sizable bounty here. And one of the and I don't know if this is something that we could potentially integrate in with Coinvice, and I don't know how open that Coinvice would be for contributing this, but it might be a way that we could potentially collaborate as a DAO with Coinvice, because that way we wouldn't have to reinvent the wheel as far as ourselves, but the opportunity to have, like, let me actually just bring open here to the REtoken DAO profile on Coinvice real quick, because I think that this is one of the things that they're, oh, and I gotta log in, so I'll do that in a second. But the opportunity to have a vesting schedule, because that is one of the things that we're all here hanging out on a Sunday, with anticipation of building REtoken into something that is a solid, where as a core team, like the opportunity to have some type of vesting schedule occur over the next 3, 6, or 9 months, and the opportunity to do that in like easily through the Coinvice dashboard is a thing that I thought would be something. So I don't know if somebody wants to drive that conversation and see if that might be a possibility of like going in with Coinvice. But that was one that I thought was interesting.
Alex, can you hear me better now?
Not a whole lot better, no.
Oh, shucks. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out how to
it's a little better. It sounds like you're a ways away from the mic.
But we can
yeah,
understand
it
you,
must
though.
be the way. Okay. Yeah, 'cause I was gonna say I Do we have any like Trello cards for the bounties or like funding proposals or something like that? And then also for like, do we have like kind of like a general roadmap built out at all yet? Because I don't believe so.
We do have a roadmap, and let me bring that open here real quick on Trello. So where I was going, let me before here, they do have this on the Coinvice dashboard real quick, is this create vesting schedules. And I don't know if this is something that they are planning, but this might be, like I said, a good opportunity to potentially collaborate. And I don't know if Janelle or whoever does the most of the dev work over at Coinvice. Janelle is the founder of Coinvice. But this would be a great opportunity that is very much in line with the superfluid bounty. But to switch gears over here to Trello, and we have a.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was saying I think we should look into that bounty further, because that's a good opportunity to collaborate with Coinbase to build out something that's like useful to other DAOs trying to do.
Absolutely, and I'm a huge proponent of Coinbase. It's been so easy, and like, you know, that's one of the we had during our DAO Global Hackathon. Like, but anyway, so we have a lane or a list on Trello for the DAO Global Hackathon. That bounty that I was just showing everybody was the one that I thought would make sense to potentially pursue, is the superfluid with the Polygon DApp, because then the nice thing about that too is it won't be like just a standalone DApp. It would be an integration in with the social token platform that I personally enjoy using. It's been a very easy experience, and it doesn't cost anything for minting a social token on Polygon on Coinbase. So we don't have too much more time here. Let me see what else we've got on our agenda real quick. So if that's something that the two of you, Michael and Design, want to explore, and in anything that I can do to help facilitate that conversation, and I mean, I would even, you know, if one of you wants to start that bounty on the DAO Global Hackathon, I mean, I would absolutely encourage you to do that too, because I don't know what the time frame is for getting that finalized. Looking here
on the 8th, I think, of December. Oh, sorry, you can't hear me. That one ends on the 8th of December, I believe.
Okay, 8th of December. So that's coming up super soon. So one of the things here, let me make this bigger real quick. And I think looking here at this ambassador program, I think that we need to just schedule a working group to go in on this topic specifically. We obviously ran over as far as the time on this. One of the other things that wanting to talk about here today is coordinate. We said a little bit, we had a working group last Sunday on the tail end of our core team planning call where we put coordinate in place. And I think that with my understanding, I would like to actually make some proposals that we allocate some REtoken, because my understanding is that needs to happen in line with a budgeted pool of some tokens. So to one of the other things too, and I created a new Discord role for DevOps here with and added Michael and Design to that particular role. And this is one of the things that I think that would be a great circle to create. And I don't know, I'm more of a fan of team, and I love the acronym Together Everyone Achieves More. So that's kind of like what I would like to call our coordinate circles, let me bring open Coordinate real quick here. I think it's on, yeah. So here's my Coordinate profile. I think I'm logged in. So we've got a core team circle on REtoken DAO, and I think that, let's see, and I don't know if this is something that if somebody added to this, or if this is somebody's wallet. I'm not sure. I'll have to take a look on that. I wasn't expecting to see this user on there, but the opportunity of doing a new circle here. So let me create the circle REtoken circle name dev team REtoken DAO and Discord. I don't think so as far as some amounts, one of the other circles would like a content team, and then we have the ambassadors team. So going back to the ambassadors conversation, is everybody on board with like just doing a separate meeting at some time this week to talk about the and I guess we could call it the ambassadors working group?
Hi, Jason. I just want to update you on the research that I've done in the ambassador program. Is that okay? It is more intensive than you would think. And I think what we need is like if we have a step-by-step process that somebody can just follow when they go become an ambassador, because if it's left up to just anybody to do their own thing, it might be confusing. So we need it to be more uniform if you're planning on doing this, and that would take like a group working group to put that together. And I've already downloaded 2 materials which I will print probably tomorrow that tells what it entails to do an ambassador program. So that's just an update.
Yeah, so that functionally echoes what I was just advocating there as well, that we should proceed with setting up an ambassadors working group. And I'm wanting to be respectful of everybody's time here, and I'm trying to see like it's we're 2 minutes to the hour, so let's proceed with setting up an ambassadors working group. So let me add that to the next actions is, and I'll speak a little bit more on the research that I've done on that. I don't have time to do that here, and I'll take that offline via Discord to share also. I did send out a tweet. I even got some feedback on that, and I'll share that offline as well. So create an ambassadors working group and schedule for this upcoming week. So one of the other things too that, and this is something that came up earlier in the week on our, can't even remember, I think it was from Michael talking about the white paper. I also wanted to quickly show our roadmap here. This is something that I'm super excited. We're going to be completing this one when our proposal for the operating agreement. It's always fabulous to be able to mark something, and I'm actually going to send out a tweet on that. But the other thing here is the create a white paper, and that was a good segue into the thing that I wanted to talk about here. And this is something that I'm planning a hybrid event on. We have the REtoken Colorado meetup group, and I think that we're up to like 30 or 40 people almost here in person. And the thought on this is schedule a working group, call it How to Write a Crypto White Paper, and it will dual purpose on providing a framework for learning how, and this would be, I think, a great piece of content that we can multi-stream out using our new Restream tool, see how many different channels that we can get that streaming to. And this will be the How to Write a Crypto White Paper. So this will serve two purposes. And I'm gonna switch a little bit here, turn my video back on if I can. Right, there we go. Start camera, switch to there. So this How to Write a Crypto White Paper will serve two purposes. It'll provide a solid framework, I think, for somebody that wants to potentially learn how a white paper can be written within a community like ours. And then the second purpose of this will actually write our REtoken white paper as a component of this, and did start a little bit, and this was done just super ad hoc on our GitHub repo, and I'll bring this bigger here. I think I started, I can't even remember where I put it. Go ahead. I hear somebody unmic in there.
I was going to say, I'll take ownership of that like meeting. I would love to do that, or like be part of the stream working group on how to build a crypto white paper. I also was going to say it would be useful for being able to write it if we kind of had everything in our ecosystem a little bit more like, I don't know if we have it yet exactly, but like kind of documented to the point where we know every tool, like a list of almost every tool that we're currently using. And that way I can go over how they're going to interact with each other and kind of start building out like the security behind it and like building some value into it.
That's an awesome idea, Michael. We love that. We'd love for you to take the lead on that. So a couple things. One is in our
real quick, and I did want to chime in on the list of the tools. That yes, that is a great idea, and that's something I think that I can't remember if I had that listed in this work. Let me take a look, because I might have already had that mentioned.
Michael, are you in our Trello board?
I believe so.
Okay. So yeah, we can.
I can see.
We'll get through all the tools
I
and everything, and then in our GitHub page that we submitted for the American Made Solar Prize, we have what could be a decent start for a white paper. So we can start with what we have, and then we can add in whatever else we're missing on that. I also have some examples of some other community white papers if you need any information on that. I don't know how often you write these things, or if you want resources, or if you already have plenty.
Yeah, we'll take that conversation offline as far as how to do some preparation, because this is one that like wanting to host in person. We haven't hosted a in person on our meetup real quick, and let me show that real quick here. This is part of our meetup strategy, which is we also have on our roadmap here for 2021 Q4 is developing materials as part of our local meetup strategy. And so we'll schedule this. We'll figure out, and we'll have like a planning session at some time here. And anybody else that wants to participate in this, as far as like from a planning standpoint, we'll probably just host that on Discord. And let me add that as a next item, or next action, is to create a and I'll allocate 1 hour of time, is create a 1 hour planning call for the how to write a white paper to host on Saturday at I think 3 p.m. Eastern is what, yeah, because that's 1 p.m. Mountain Time. So that was the next action, and we're already almost 5 minutes over. Wanted to let anybody else chime in as far as, but yeah, we'll also itemize the tools that we have in use, and I think that this would be a good opportunity with where we're at to kind of do a couple proposals as far as like the tools that we're at, and then want to do a separate tool, and we can kind of hash that out. And this is one that will create the discussion thread in our voting proposals channel here on Discord as far as the coordinate budget. And what I'm advocating for the coordinate is, since this is a new tool, looking at doing, and let me get switched back over here. Since coordinate is a new tool, wanting to just do 4 weeks on this initial budgeting allocation, and then kind of we can figure that out. And what we'll do is we'll have the conversation this week on Discord, and then we can finalize the coordinate. And this between this call and our next week's core team call, beef up on your coordinate knowledge. I'm putting myself in this category as well. This is a tool that I think will really provide a lot of scalability. And then most importantly is we'll put some numbers from an allocation standpoint that we can agree that we'll submit that via an official snapshot proposal. So we'll have the conversation in Discord this week on the coordinate allocations, circles, all of that stuff, and then we'll finalize the conversation next week. Does that sound like a solid plan?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, it's good.
So any other final thoughts here? Let me bring back our Trello agenda.
Michael and Heather, DM me your wallets. I don't think I have them on my list.
I think I have Michael's. But yeah, DM Heather for sure.
I have just one thing going back to the centralized exchange for onboarding or fiat into DeFi. I totally forgot that there's a new wallet called Dharma, and we should probably look into that because that actually allows us to stay decentralized. So it will link directly to your accounts. It's just dharma.io. So we should just look at that as an option too, because then we don't have to deal with using as middleman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that,
no,
honestly, I was going to say there's probably people coming out with new tooling like that, and we might be able to get on board with something like that.
No, we'll add that to the list. And if that's one that you want to take ownership of, I think that we should create a separate proposal just from a documentation standpoint. We can take that offline because I have no problem divvying up some of this paperwork stuff. So if you want to lead the charge on Dharma, I'm quite okay with that. Or we could split up, or I'm all a fan of dividing and conquering. Oh, and here's the screen here. Dharma, is this the one that you were talking about?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, cool.
And we could. We're already over, but I did some cursory research just now. I completely forgot about it until this afternoon. So I just started looking at it today.
One of the other
whose
reasons
API they're using. Oh, sorry.
What
I was just
saying
saying
real quick.
My bad.
is Kraken, I think, has is working on obtaining their bank charter in Wyoming. So that's one that I still think that would be worthwhile. And I don't know where they're at, but I think that's the direction that Kraken is going as well.
Oh, that's great.
Sorry.
Really
Go ahead, Michael.
Okay. Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think Bankless, the company whose API or one of the APIs that I was looking at, it looks like Dharma's using, has a few bounties. So I'll look into that and then I'll add them to like a bounty board.
And on that note, any opportunities that we as a community have of participating in funding hackathons or whatever, definitely float those up. And this is normally the time of the week that we have those conversations. One of the other real that I want to bring this to a close on, since we're already over, that I'm wanting to get on the calendar is a Discord conversation for our community planning call. Because one of the things that I don't like about the StreamYard is it's a kind of a barrier of entry for a larger participation away from our Discord, which is our main community hub. And that's something that I'm going to put on the calendar, and I'll figure out, because we've got several working groups that we're wanting to get done. And just to kind of go off on another little bit of a tangent, personally, Mrs. Yonks and I were planning on bouncing up to Chicagoland, but that's functionally been curbed here, and we will be going out to visit her family for the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays, but that's a few weeks down the road. But we'll be having more conversations as far as leaning into Colorado opportunity with our home and the investment club that we're going to be launching here. And we're going to have another, like the DAO Global Hackathon working group for launching the Our Home Co-op DAO. So already 10 minutes over. Loved it hanging out with everybody here. Does anybody have any final thoughts before we wrap it up here super fast? Go.
Who are the people that are like, who in our DAO like are like the people that know about buying real estate and the laws and everything and regulations that go into that? So I know who to approach with questions regarding it, because that's just one of the things I'm not too good at. Like I've never owned property yet, so I'm not sure exactly what regulations we're going to be facing.
You can ask Yonks or me. We are probably the most knowledgeable in the specific co-op housing regulations, the Airbnb laws, all of the different things. Just to kind of put our money where our mouth is, the first property that we'd like to tokenize as REtoken is a house that we personally own and are renting out. So we're meeting with our tenants next week to talk to them about what this thing is going to look like. We've got crypto miners on order. So yeah, just reach out to us. If we don't know, then we can probably research it for you, but start with Yonks or me or both of us.
All right, cool. Thank you. That's great. I figured it was you guys.
And to be clear, it's basically just what most people call an SPV, specialty purpose vehicle, which is functionally an entity that owns the property, because that's what gets tokenized, is an entity that is created specifically for the purpose of owning that piece of property. And again, that's something that we'll be having more conversations, because really think of our home, and that's more of a vehicle that we're wanting to create a more of a streamlined process, because we're not wanting to tokenize like just rental situations. We're really wanting to create something that's different. There's already Realty.co is already tokenizing rental properties here in the US. We're wanting to really create wins for everybody, including the people that are living in the properties that we're tokenizing.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great. That sounds great. I'm gonna have some more questions to shoot you guys regarding that. Thank you.
And one other thing too, that I want to continually talk about is improving the onboarding process. And we didn't obviously spend any time talking about that here today. So let's keep that forefront. Like one of the things that we're thinking about implementing is a REtoken onboarding or orientation call. And this is something that I'll make sure gets added to the list for next week's core team planning call. I don't want that to be forgotten.
No, for sure. Does anybody want to take the lead on that, researching how other communities do it, coming up with some ideas? Kind of, we want you guys to all lead different projects, whatever you want to.
Yeah, I'm researching that already, because kind of it ties directly into working on the white paper.
Cool.
Alrighty, well, happy Sunday, everybody. We got a lot done here today. Love the direction that we're going, getting some very important stuff in place here as far as like from a treasury management, and then getting where we can onboard and offboard fiat, because we are, I think, positioned very well to increasingly participate in and win these types of funding situations so that we can really build situations that create affordable housing, but most importantly, equitable housing, creating a win for the real estate tokenization situation. So we'll talk more. We can talk about this stuff all day long, but we're already 15 minutes over today. So thanks everybody for hanging out today.
Yeah, take care. Have a great day, everybody.
See ya.
Thank you. Have a good Sunday. Blur's Day, I need help.
Yeah, we'll get you going on some stuff. Are you talking with the? Oh, I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast here. We'll take that offline, Amy.